Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back. So good to be back in front of the camera. All my TikTokers and also my YouTubers who might be watching as well. Make sure if you like what you see, thumbs up the video or like the video. Make sure you share, follow, leave comments. I love all of the things. So yes, whatever you feel led to do is cool with me. Okay. All right. Pretty early here. Pretty early here in my city. It's like after 5 in the morning, almost 6. So I'm up early. I'm kind of an early bird anyway. So anyway. So I am up early. I just had this message on my mind after I just got done doing my Bible reading. So just wanted to share something. Just wanted to share a little encouragement. So, LOL. Now, normally we think LOL is laugh out loud, but it might also mean other things, such as loneliness out loud. Yeah. Loneliness can be pretty severe and it can be pretty loud in our lives and in the lives of other people who mean a lot to us as well. So if loneliness has not affected you yet, it probably is going to affect you at some point soon. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but loneliness is real. And it is not a disease, but it is quite an ailment and sometimes feels like a mental health challenge that really is pretty rampant and it really bothers us all at some point in life. Loneliness is not just for single people who are waiting for husbands and wives. Okay, so that would be the first myth. When you think loneliness, you're like, oh, it's just for single people? Like, no, it's not just for single people. It is not exempt from married people. Married people are lonely as well. You can be married and be lonely in your marriage. Never thought about that, huh? Yeah. So loneliness can happen whether you are by yourself or whether you're in a group of 20, 30, or 1,000 people. You can be sitting there just as lonely. Loneliness happens to men, women, boys, girls. It can happen to um, high school students. There are high school students who feel lonely. There are grade school students who feel lonely at school. They may feel lonely at home as well. It happens on the job. On your job, you may feel lonely. You may feel ostracized. You may feel excluded from activities or excluded from groups. Especially if there's like a lot of cliques and things like that, you may not feel like you fit in. Yeah. There is even loneliness, a spirit of loneliness hovering around in the church. Yes. There are plenty of people who feel lonely when they go to church, especially if the church has like if you're doing activities in church and so maybe you don't feel lonely during the service per se, but you may feel it during fellowship hours and anything that's outside of the normal service hours. But loneliness is a real thing that we all feel and we all deal with, and we can all admit that it's painful and it hurts. So, in my own life, I've dealt with it a lot. I was kind of reflecting back a little bit, like, just thinking back on my years when I was in college, which was a few years ago for me when I was in college, and I worked in college as well. I worked in the computer lab at my school. And I remember there were like a lot of cliques there. And I was kind of going through some stuff too, like mental health challenges and things like that while I was in college. So I didn't fit in at all. I was not the, cool girl, that everybody loved to be around. So I was isolated. They would talk amongst themselves and, of course nobody was really talking to me. So yeah, I was kind of made to feel like a pariah, you know. My boss was kind of a douchebag. He kind of favored the people who were popular over, me. And then when I was in grade school and high school, I definitely was not Miss Popular at all. Not Miss Popular at all. I was bullied heavily. I dealt with it all the time. Not so much physical bullying because I'm tall, so that like saved me, from like physical bullying of like being hit or punched or kicked or anything like that. But it mostly was a lot of verbal taunting, so and like rumors and things like that. So it was really a sickening ordeal that I had to experience, and I hated it. I hated going to school, just having to hear like a lot of name calling and just having to deal with that and just feeling like you don't fit in, and you don't fit in, and you don't know why you don't fit in, and you're trying to make yourself fit in, and you have no idea where to start from. You're like, what should I do? You're like, why can't I be the pretty girl? Why can't I be, the cool popular chick? How come I can't do this? How come I can't be like, how come I can't be more like her? Or whatever the case may be. So, it just was very, irritating because like you don't really know yourself then and you're trying to get to know yourself, you know. So, we have this issue, of loneliness. And for me during that time, loneliness was heavily felt. Yes, I was very lonely. I mean, even as an adult woman, like I still, experience days of loneliness. But I noticed that my burdens of loneliness are much lighter than what they used to be because the way I live my life is different now. And I've changed the way I think about things. So for me, my relationship with God is key. My relationship with God is key, you know. And when you have that relationship with Christ, when you have a season or a day of loneliness, I'm not saying it's not going to be hard. It is going to be hard, but you can always turn back to his love. You turn back to his love and you remember his love, and it takes the sting away from loneliness. I'm not saying you won't feel lonely, but it'll take the sting away from it. Yeah. And he also commands us to love other people too. So that's not a bad thing. It can be difficult sometimes, but it's not really bad because loving others takes our minds off ourselves, and that also takes a big sting out of loneliness. So, think in terms of service. Sometimes it may not be. I know some of y'all may say, well, I have problems with my family. I got to love them from a distance. I understand. I know the feeling. But you may think in terms of like, well, there's a homeless shelter in my area. Let me go serve. There's an elderly home. Let me go serve. Let me volunteer at a crisis center for women or whatever the case may be. So that is another way to love other people, and that'll pull you out of the slump of loneliness. So think in terms of your routine, your daily routine, keeping your mind on positive things, keeping your relationship with Christ up, and service of others and love, showing love to others, random acts of kindness, things like that. And that'll pull you out of that slump of loneliness and take the sting away from loneliness, because that's what we're trying to do. We don't want to be hurting. We don't want to feel bad. We don't want to be having a hard time, So that's all I wanted to get on here and say, that loneliness sucks. And I know. And I just wanted to help out, where I could, with just taking the sting out of it and making it just a little bit easier to contend with. So thank you guys for watching. As always, thanks for your support, your love. I really appreciate it. And you guys be blessed. Take care. Have a blessed rest of your week and a blessed weekend as well. Bye.